G'day, welcome back. An unprecedented security operation is getting underway for Mexico's home match against England in the coming hours. 7,500 police will be deployed around Mexico City Stadium. That's one officer for every 10 fans, and thousands more officers will be stationed at other sites as well.
Crowds have been setting off fireworks and making noise outside the English Players Hotel overnight. 4 people died during Mexico City celebrations last week. Joining us now is international security specialist Will Geddes. Thank you for your time, Will. What steps do organisers take when they want to keep a crowd of over 1 million people safe?
You can imagine, morning Nat, morning Shervo, you can imagine it's quite the project. It's quite the job. This particular project has an overarching name, and they have about 100,000 security personnel, which combines military, police and private security to try and provide the best security they possibly can, and the safety not only to all the players that are participating, but all their fans which are coming into the country, obviously, to participate and spectate the actual games.
Just looking at the people that died previously, asphyxiation, one had a seizure. What are the risks here?
Well, the risks, Shervo, are, how they've set up the security is they've got these fan zones, and they're creating secure tunnels, obviously, between those fan zones and the stadia itself. So they have like a 1 kilometre perimeter to the actual stadia, and they have various security checkpoints to make sure nobody's bringing contraband in, weapons, that sort of thing. But the problem you have is always generally after a game. So depending on the outcome and who won or lost, for that matter, is when they come out of the stadia, go into the fan zones, and then from the fan zones, they go into almost sort of a civilization, if you like, to get back to their respective accommodations, whether that be an Airbnb or a hotel. And that's where the crowds can spill over, and that's where you will get problems with convergence of people and potentially clashes between fans.
As a security expert who works around the world, I would presume, how dangerous is Mexico City?
Mexico City is still very risky, and only about a month ago there were 60 odd casualties, or I should say fatalities, from cartel actions. There's still a huge amount of control by the cartels down there. They are almost like the quasi-government. In addition to that, there's a number of demonstrations going on. The terrorism threat, however, is pretty much a zero. However, it's the cartel organised crime issue of them targeting foreign travellers, foreign visitors and spectators coming in. I've worked down there on a number of cases. I know a lot of good security professionals down there who I know are run ragged at the moment, looking after, for example, the wives and girlfriends of many of the players.
Yeah, are the players at risk?
Well, the players are controlled and managed, Shervo, by the Football Association, and they have their own security sort of mechanisms and schematics. But it's the wives and girlfriends who are coming down to support their partners who are probably at greater risk. And the ladies are often sort of wanting to go out to the nearest, smartest restaurants. They want to go shopping, that sort of thing. They won't necessarily be with their player partners throughout the trip. So they're almost an element to itself that needs to be secured. Having worked on a number of Olympics in the past, historically, I've worked on across 4 Olympics. I know how chaotic it can be, not only just looking after those strands, the entourage, the partners, but also the movements, getting everybody from one place to another to be in the right place to the right time.
So does the cartel kidnap people?
Yes, they do regularly, Nat. Yes, I may or may not have been involved in a couple of those cases where, more often than not, it is wealthy business travellers or travellers that are perceived to be wealthy. Again, it's not the place I would be recommending you travel down to with your new Rolex or your Audemars Piguet, because it's going to signpost you, obviously, to local criminals who are looking to make a buck. And one of the biggest threats down there is what we call express kidnaps. Now, those express kidnaps can materialize into a much more considered kidnap, or it can be that they hold you for a very short period of time. They demand something that is accessible, like maybe $10,000 or $20,000 to release you. So there is always that risk. And there is also the problems of the washover of the clashes between the military and the cartel, or the police and the cartels as well.
Well, we know the players make a lot of money, and hopefully they can protect themselves and their loved ones. Thank you, Will.
Pleasure. Thank you.